Hey Jimmy, it's Patrick Kielty saying a big hello from Studio 4 of RT here in Dublin, Ireland, home to the Late Late Show for over 60 years. Now, during that time, there have, of course, been many in power who have wanted our show off air, and yet our bosses have never considered shutting us down. Tonight, we're extending the hand of free speech and friendship to let you know that you're always welcome here. So if you ever need a studio or a desk or an audience or a band, we're here for you. And most importantly of all, Jimmy, this is Ireland, so we can promise that you can say whatever the fuck you want.
Patrick Kielty is clearly a renegade. He is a maverick, and he's not afraid to stick it to the man. But can you stick it to the man while working for the man, while reading from an auto cue, written and approved by the man? I don't know. I'm a conspiracy theorist, I suppose. He said over the years that there have been many in power who've wanted him off air, but his bosses have never considered shutting him down. RTE is funded by the Irish state. His bosses are those in power. Hello? What are they doing, talking to themselves? What kind of schizophrenic pyramid scheme am I non-consensually paying for here? The Irish state, like me, like you, like any organism since the Big Bang, wishes to ensure its own survival. RTE disseminates information in this vein. That is called propaganda. Propaganda is not just something that happens over there somewhere. Oh, Russia, they have state-controlled media. Isn't that terrible? Thank God we have state-sponsored media. Fantastic. But in Western Europe, I will admit that our propaganda has to be somewhat credible. We're not like North Korea, where they're just so demoralized by dysentery and having to step over dead bodies on their way to work that they just their brains are shut off completely. It's like trauma. That's what happens when you have a traumatic event. If you've ever had one, you literally can't remember it because your brain stops working to protect you, you know? We've been spoiled by good vibes, Italian 90 mainly. So you can't just tell us that Michael D. Higgins's farts have healing powers and expect us to be hanging out in the Phoenix Park the next day hoping to clear our sinuses. Although when I see those people clapping, I'm not so sure about that. Unlike our rice-loving relatives, that's racist. Unlike our no, that's old-fashioned. Unlike our, democratically askew dudes and dudettes, our slanty-eyed siblings, that's insane. Unlike the North Koreans, there needs to be a veneer of realism. There needs to be a semblance of balance, of conflicting opinion. If you watch The Late Late Show every week for a year, as I most certainly have not, what you'll find is that 99% of the guests are sort of nice and lovely liberals who are happy to say Céad Míle Fáilte and, drink a few pints, but be nice to your mammy and basically propagate whatever the other 8 commandments of what it means to be Irish are supposed to be. And according to recent reports, these commandments were delivered by God on a slab of rock and discovered by Michael Collins in the dirt of the GPO in 1916. And I read it on RT's website, so I do actually believe that. And the other 1% is like some pantomime villain wheeled out like Katie Hopkins to dunk on fat people for 10 minutes. And yes, the crowd get to enjoy the show for a while, but she's not around long enough for them to actually be influenced. And this ratio is obviously unfair unless it represents Irish society as a whole, because it's the entirety of Irish society, not just liberals, who fund this wank. Even RTE will tell you, though, that according to the 2015 gay marriage thing, a third of Irish people are homophobic. Even they will tell you that according to the abortion 2018 thing, A third of Irish people hate women. You know, according to the 2024 Family and Care referendum, as of last year, 70% of Irish people are far right. So it's like, what's going on? Why are these people being excluded? Why is Patrick Kielty acting like some kind of warrior for freedom of speech when these people aren't allowed on his fucking show? Let's take Enoch Burke for an example. Enoch Burke, for the last 3 years, has been one of the most interesting people the country has on offer. If he went on the Late Late Show, ratings would be through the roof. It'd be gold. Let's go. Let's watch some TV for the first time in years. Let's be entertained. Why haven't they had him on? It's not because he's not available. I mean, I know he isn't available during school hours. That's his whole brand. But the Late Late Show's, you know, shot at 9 o'clock. Like, after school hours, he's a free man, apart from when he's in jail. You know, so it's like, maybe they don't like what he has to fucking say. So what Patrick Kielty has a problem with, in my view, is not that free speech is being violated. What he has a problem with is that the right wing are now engaging in the same cancel culture that the left wing have propagated for years. He has a problem that his team are no longer winning, which is why he sympathises with Jimmy Kimmel, who's lost his job, and not with Charlie Kirk, who lost his life. It is hard to be kind of nationalistic and proud of your country when you see the clapping Irish masses cheering for free speech, when until yesterday, freedom of speech, even the phrase, was considered a far-right dog whistle. You know, they cheer for Jimmy Kimmel, you know, how unfair it is that he's been fired from his job for lying about Charlie Kirk's shooter. But until last night, the biggest threat to Irish society was the spread of misinformation. And it's truly dystopian. In 1984, the book by George Orwell, the Ministry of Truth would literally rewrite history to suit the protocols of the day. It really is so unnatural for men not to believe in anything. But I think it's part of the deal when you sell your soul for £250,000. They say that cowards die 1,000 times and the valiant die but once. And I think that kind of spiritual suicide is written all over Patrick Kielty's face. It is so not worth it, you know. He's just standing there, pretending to take a stand, cosplaying as a man, armed with the swear word that he probably practiced the night before bed, in pyjamas, with some toothpaste on his chin, allegedly, promising himself that, you know, even if mommy hadn't given him permission, he'd be saying it anyway. Man. It is cultural appropriation of the real men out here, by the way, so I am offended. I am very offended. Thank you so much for watching Newsweek. See you later.